Hey guys, how's it going? It's Clarissa here with That Dumb Movie Show, and I wanted to talk about another film that, alongside The Big Sick, was shown at this year's Sundance London Film Festival, and that is David Lowery's A Ghost Story, which also had a huge amount of hype coming out of the actual Sundance Film Festival. But unlike The Big Sick, I was maybe only half on board for this one. I thought it was beautifully made and had a very unique approach, but it kind of lost me a little bit in the process. So, A Ghost Story is pretty abstract. David Lowery's definitely swung back in the opposite direction after last year's Pete's Dragon. Essentially, though, Casey Affleck, who is Rooney Mara's partner in this, dies in a car accident and returns as a literal sheet ghost, and it follows his time in the afterlife, stuck in this house he used to call home as he watches time pass by and Rooney Mara's life pass by. And that initial part of the film I thought was absolutely incredible. You know, looking at grief through the eyes of the deceased is such an inventive and really effective way of breaching the subject, because most films tend to look at grief in the immediate, when it's dark and intense and dramatic and it feels like the earth is falling from underneath someone. But it's nice to see A Ghost Story look at how that grief mutates and changes over time. And at first it is really intense, and you may have heard that this film contains a good 5-minute scene of Rooney Mara eating pie. And I know that sounds really funny on paper, but it actually really upset me because I am kind of a comfort eater, and when you're feeling that down and that drained, food does take on kind of a different quality. It's not about taste or nutrition, it's about literally shoveling mass into your body so you can fill some kind of emotional void. But over time, that grief does change. The death of a loved one leaves a scar, but the relationship with it changes. It becomes less intense. It dissipates into a cloud of sadness, and then that sadness gets thinner and thinner. And so in this film you see Rooney Mara, she kind of moves on, she gets back into her day-to-day routine, but that is normal. But to the ghost, it seems like he's being forgotten. And I think that taps into a very deep fear that people have, that by moving through the grief process you are somehow forgetting the person that died, and there is that element of guilt there, like the first time you laugh or the first time you don't think about them for an entire day. So yeah, I found that part of the film incredibly powerful, but maybe around halfway through it suddenly changes gears and it becomes a lot less intimate and personal, and it expands its ideas out onto a far more existential level. And that's sort of where I lost the thread of the film a little bit, especially because it kind of changes from having ideas of time being this relentless march forward to ideas about time being circular, and I didn't quite understand how those two parts of the film connected together, I guess. Plus, this film is largely dialogue-free, which I really appreciated, except for this one scene set in a house party where Kesha randomly cameos, and there's just this long-ass monologue by Will Oldham, aka the musician Bonnie Prince Billy, and he's talking about how the creation of all art is pointless because inevitably the earth will die and it will be forgotten. And it was just so on the nose, but also incredibly convoluted and just in your face and preachy, and I really hated it. I hated that speech. He reminded me of the kind of guy that at a house party you would just excuse yourself and slowly back out of the room, except for because this was a film, the camera wouldn't leave and the camera just sat there listening to this asshole guy, and I just really hated it. So yeah, I was really only half on board with A Ghost Story, but I guess I would still probably recommend you check it out because I think it was still very artfully made, and I think David Lowery is a really great filmmaker, and even though I didn't enjoy the second half, I can still see that he was trying to do something. So if you had a chance to see A Ghost Story, I would love to know what you guys thought. You can let me know down in the comments below, or you can hit me up on Twitter, details down in that description box. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe so you can hang out and talk about movies. I'll see you guys soon.